Hi friends, welcome to another episode of Everything Music. If you're a returning subscriber, karibu tena. If you're new, welcome to it. My name is Franca. I share on Everything Music to help keep your experience with music fresh and cool. So I hope you stay, you subscribe, and you become a part of this amazing creative family. So as you can tell from the title, today we're going to be talking about how I basically practice and maybe some tips and tricks that I found along the way as I continue recording covers, and I hope you enjoy. So, can we just agree that practice is the most boring and frustrating thing to go through, as you wait for a performance or a recording? And I think it's like that because that's when you are at your worst. You have to go through all this, ni kama kulima shamba. When you're looking at the goal, you're looking at the end result, you on the stage and performing, it's so beautiful and you want it so bad, but then the journey, the process of just practicing, it can be really frustrating, but that is the most important thing. It's the most important aspect for you to go through before you record. And I think it's like that with every other thing. If you're working towards a goal, the journey is usually difficult, but guess what? It's always worth it. When you don't practice, it reflects on your performance and on your recording. Even if people will clap for you, you will know that you have not done your best, and that will always eat on you. It will eat you up that I didn't do the best that I could have done. When you watch back to your recordings, you're like, I would have done this, and it's because you rushed into it without practicing. And during practice is where your creative juices flow. You get to explore so much about yourself, about your skill, the things that you need to work on, the things that you're now confident that I got this. When it comes to breathing technique, mini pro, nikikuja kwa, dynamics, I can really express that. And you get to discover so much about yourself. You get to go beyond your imagination and just explore. And I think it's a very nice concept, but when it comes down to it, it's frustrating, but it's all worth it. Again, it's all worth it. So basically today I'm going to share with you just the process that I go through while I'm practicing so that I ensure a great performance and a great recording. So before we get into the steps, let me just say that it is very important that you do your vocal warm-ups and your vocal exercises every single day. If you can't do them every single day, at least do vocal warm-ups every single day. You can do a 5-minute vocal warm-up, a 10-minute, a 15-minute, it depends, but please do your vocal warm-ups each and every day. Vocal exercises, you can alternate. You can maybe do them 4 times a week. But for your vocal warm-ups, it is very important that you do them every day because they create healthy vocals. And if you're playing an instrument, it's also important that you just do your warm-ups to ensure that your fingers or your body is used to the movements that you make while you're mastering your instruments. So let's get to practicing. So we already have our song, right? We have chosen our song and we're like, okay, this is the song we want to record. If you haven't watched my video on how to choose a song, I did that last week. Please watch it here. So the first thing is you listen to that song again and again and again until you're familiar with the lyrics and familiar with the melody. This is the point where you also master the lyrics, because you don't want to be singing and you're riffing and doing all these things, but lyrics, hauna lyrics, you have to sing them. And usually that causes a disgust in your performance because you're doing all these great things, but the fact that you haven't mastered the lyrics, it's hard for you to express. For complex songs, you might take longer to memorize it, but it's okay, that's okay. Hakuna mtu mwenye amekuwekea deadline. And while you're listening to it every time, while you're walking, doing chores, all these things, make sure you also give yourself a break so that this song cannot end up being boring, because sometimes you can listen to a song so much until it becomes monotonous and you stop feeling it. And the best way to do it is you can put this song in random playlists on your phone so that it can just pop up in moments that you're not actively or directly practicing. The second step I usually do is I analyze the song. And you remember when we talked about downloading instrumentals? This is where this instrumental will come in handy because you're going to use them for your practice sessions. Now, after you have already memorized your lyrics and your melody, put on these instrumentals and now sing it to yourself. Sing to yourself this song. What does it tell you? What is the vibe? What is the artist trying to express? How can you express it better? How can you express it like uniquely? What does it speak to you? This is important because the artist has already given us their own side of the story, a side of their expression. Now this is your chance for you to tell your side of your story through someone else's music. Basically, you're giving us an interpretation of this music with your perspective. Even without you changing so many things, this is the part which is going to make your song unique, because your interpretation is going to change the dynamic, your phrasing, your expressions, all these things will already make this song unique. So the next thing is usually to structure the song. The basic structure that I usually go with is I usually do one verse, a chorus, a bridge, which will create a climax, and then the ending. That is usually my basic structure for covers. But then again, if you want to do all the verses and everything that is in that song, you feel free. Feel free to do it. It's your own interpretation, it's your own perspective. Feel free to do that. But if you've analyzed the song well, you will be able to make it unique even when you sing the whole song. And if here you're collaborating with an instrumentalist, you get a chance to also arrange the instrumentals. So you add all these things, strumming patterns, the pauses, the intervals, the everything, you get to arrange it. But if you're using karaoke instrumentals which are more rigid, you get to structure your own vocals. The best way to do this is practice in sections. I find it better when you practice in sections. Maybe practice a verse and just go through it, get into the vibe of it. After you're done practicing a verse, then practice the chorus, and then practice your bridge and your climax. Just practice everything in sections. It makes it easier, it makes it better, and it gives you the time to really get into the details of the song. So once you're done practicing a section, I will recommend that you record that section so that you don't forget what you did, and also you can listen to yourself. When you're listening to yourself as you sing, you get to discover so many things that you want to change, and the things that you want to improve on, or the things that you want to keep. Once you're done practicing all the sections, record the whole song how you just want the whole structure to be. Just record a rough draft of all of it, and then you can listen to it back, for a few hours, and just get to really vibe with yourself and your own interpretation, and get to see the things that you want to change, the places that you want it to be structured different, the things that you want to add, any ornaments, all these things while you're listening to yourself. And also it helps you to also listen, which notes are hard for me to reach, which what can I change about them, or how can I reach them, and overall the vocal performance. And all these things, you can also apply them if you're playing an instrument. I mean, we out here, we need instrumentals that are of quality. So this last step, I sort of recommend it and not recommend it at the same time. And here's why. Sometimes I feel like you can reach to a block, like you've exhausted your imagination, or you've explored everything that you will do with this song. But then again, it's not quite there. Like when you listen to it back again, even after you've given yourself a break from it, and you listen to it and you're like, there's something that is missing, I would recommend that you listen to other people who have done a cover of that song. Why? Because they might just ignite or inspire something that maybe you would have not gotten it while you're listening to this song. But also, doing this can really again stomp on your creativity, because sometimes you can listen to someone and then their ideas stick to you, and you find yourself singing their version instead of singing what you had originally planned. So if you're someone who struggles with comparison, I do not recommend this step, because sometimes you might listen to someone else do the same cover, and then you start feeling like you haven't done enough, or your voice is not like them, or maybe you can't do it because now they've done it better. So that's why I said this step, I recommend it and I do not recommend. Commit and appreciate your process. And if you're someone who listens to other people and get inspiration, then good for you. Listen to them and get your inspiration. Do not copy it. Stay true to your process. Stay true to your creativity. Stay true to your authentic self and give us your perspective, because at the end of the day, you will be unique. Your perspective will be unique, your interpretation will be unique, and that's what we want. That's what we want to hear. So once I am ready with my song and my performance, what I usually do is I usually stand in front of the mirror and practice. Practice like I am performing. I imagine that there are 20,000 people here and I am performing, and it just gives me the boost and the confidence to know that, everything is in my head, everything that I have it. I can't forget the lyrics because, I've memorized it, I have structured my song. I am confident in my song because I have practiced it well. And so I just do that so that I can be comfortable in front of the camera. You can also record yourself. You can do a little dry run and record yourself on your phone and see how, see yourself, on the screen. It's good to see yourself on the screen when you're talking, because most times when you're talking, or maybe when you're singing and performing, you don't know what happens. Maybe you were doing some weird things, like the things I do with my hands. So when you watch yourself, back, you get to realize, yeah, I'm actually okay. Yeah, or maybe I need to smile there, or maybe what I am singing does not interpret on the camera, and it just gives you the confidence, once you do it so many times, so that you can be comfortable in front of the camera. So I hope this video inspired you. I hope this video helped you with some tips and tricks. I don't know, but basically this is how I usually practice for recording. And if you try it, please come back and tell me, how did it go? How do you find this process? Or maybe if you have a different perspective on practicing, please comment down below. We're here to educate and to be educated. So that's it for today. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked this video, please give it a big thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell notification so that you can be notified anytime that I upload, child. And also share with friends and family. His video sees it too. If you have someone who needs to hear this, share. Just patieni mtu ataka shout out, so thank you so much. And also don't forget to tune in for next week. I'm going to be sharing on how I edit my videos, all the apps that I use, everything that I usually use. Next week is the day where I tell you all the secrets. So tune in to next week and I'll see you in the next video. Nenda kupractice sasa.